So my name is Robert Blackson, and I am the director of Cole Gallery here at Washington College, which is part of the Gibson Center for the Arts. And I came here from a long history of directing university and art school galleries and museums. And so for me, it's been a wonderful trajectory to have these moments of bringing exhibitions from around the world into places of academic learning and for communities that are neighboring those institutions to learn about art from all over the world, but also things that are right at their feet. And so it's been a wonderful, like I say, trajectory into Washington College and here with Cole Gallery. It is. I'll be teaching 2 classes every academic year, so 1 class in the fall and 1 class in the spring. And I would love to have as many people from the community either auditing or attending the classes as much as possible, because what I've found as a teacher is that when different generations get to intermix, that's when the conversation really gets sparked and can become quite interesting. So yeah, I would love to have as much input and involvement as possible. My specialty, if you can call it that, is contemporary art. So although I've studied, everything from ancient times to the present, I find that it doesn't really matter if it was made 2 weeks or 2 centuries ago, as long as there's a relevance to the time that we're in now. That's what gets people excited and that's what gets conversations moving. So I tend to focus on the present. Yeah. This entire year of Cole's programming has been predetermined before I arrived. So I'm very fortunate in the regard to have had a faculty here at Cole Gallery and previous directors and interim directors who had put these seeds in place before I arrived, so that an artist like this, Sobia Ahmed, was already familiar with Washington College, and specifically Julie Wills, who's a faculty member here at Washington College. So I was introduced to her work through Julie, and then began to learn about how amazing this work is from this Pittsburgh artist. And so it just made sense to continue that. And that will hold true for our next exhibition, which will open on February 6th, and that will be a work of contemporary art from Cuba. So there is just this wide range of influences and aesthetics that are coming into Cole Gallery, thanks to this work that's been done by a generation of leadership before me. So this is all work by the artist named Sobia Ahmed, and she is an artist based in Pittsburgh. Excuse me. And all of these photographs have been taken at the Panto Forest in Utah. And this is an amazing, unique, living organism, Earth's heaviest and oldest, I believe, living organism. And what it's comprised of are thousands of aspen trees, all growing from one root system. And so it carries with it these narratives of we are all in one larger network, and to do a disservice to one means a disservice to all. So there's many different interrelated conversations that are sparked by this exhibition. And so it's been a joy to hold it here. I think also ingrained in Sobia's practice is a real respect for the natural environment. And so all of these photographs were not developed through chemical solutions that you would oftentimes consider with print photography. She's developed them all in her kitchen sink. So it's that sense of going to the grocery store, finding out what lemon juice can do, finding out what coffee grounds can do, and then chemically working with them so that when she's all done, she can just go down the sink. And so this kinds of ways in which contemporary artists are now working, it's with an understanding and an awareness that it's one thing to make beautiful art, and to show it, but it's also in the processes that are so, I think, a part of our lives right now and how we want to live sustainably. And so I was really thankful to welcome Sobia to Washington College and to introduce her to the students so that the next generation of artists and thinkers can be inspired by this artist's work. And I think that's how a place like Cole Gallery can really thrive. It's not so much that what you see here is the end result. It's more about this is a part of a continuum of conversation. And that's how I'm hoping to develop Cole Gallery in the future, is that with input from Chestertown and Kent County and Queen Anne's County, we can start to grow these narratives and these conversations among different communities so that the work that's seen in here reflects the interests outside and vice versa. I don't see the walls as being a barrier. I see them more as being a facility that we can make a porous conversation around what it is that what we find maybe internationally significant, but maybe more importantly, locally relevant. So over the next I would say 6 to 10 months of Cole Gallery programming, we'll be focusing on a range of different kinds of work. So we'll be showing student work that's been generated here in Washington College. So it'll be a great opportunity to see very young emerging artists. But we're also showing internationally renowned artists from Cuba who are so intertwined to the activism that's happening in that country, to show not only the regime that I think is so totalitarian in their sort of quashing of culture and civil liberties, but it's a way to connect the students to that kind of, just with a pencil and paper, you can do so much. And so it's the way that students will be connected to the ways that artists in Cuba are having to rethink their creative practice to be almost conduits for creativity outside of the country that is so hell-bent on censorship. So I think that's an important lesson for the students to learn, and hopefully Chestertown at large. And then in the fall, we'll be welcoming the artist John Jarboe to Chestertown and to Washington College specifically. John is one of the founding members of the Bearded Ladies Cabaret in Philadelphia, and she will be working with students here at Washington College and Chestertown at large to think about gender. And we'll be having gender letter writing stations throughout Kent County where people can write letters to their gender. And we will be displaying those works around the gallery space here in the fall. That will be done in collaboration with so many different entities around Chestertown, and specifically also within the college. So working with places like the Star Center or the Rose O'Neill Literary House will all be deep collaborators for that project, also as well as the Gibson Theaters here at the Gibson Center for the Arts.